AITA for telling my husband when I left the bar. I am not OOP. OOP posted to 2 accounts. First account is fuzzy 6590 and the second account is pretend nobody 9045. Originally posted to r, am I the asshole, and r, 2 hot takes. AITA for telling my husband when I left the bar. Trigger warnings. Infidelity. Verbal abuse. Less than. And NBSP. Editor's note. The original post is recovered by the AITA mod text, posted to fuzzy 6590. Original post June 26, 2023. This is my first Reddit post as I usually just look around without commenting. But this happened this weekend and I need outside opinions. I 34F been married to my husband 35M for almost a year now and we dated for 3 years before. Ever since we started dating, whenever we go out without the other we both let each other know where are we and when we arrive, leave as a safety thing. Example. Hey, I arrived to X bar. Everything fine, or hey, I'm leaving the bar on an UBE. Should be home in 10 minutes. Now, this weekend I went out with my friend, Amy. Not real name. We went to a restaurant and to dance. Around 2 a.m. we decide to go home, and because we live in opposite directions we each took a different Uber. As usual I texted my husband to let him know I was going home and he told me that he was also leaving his friend's house and we should arrive at the same time. I knew that he was out with some of his friends that included Amy's fiancé we all know each other for a long time. But I wasn't really thinking about that. Just following my routine. We both got home. I texted Amy to let her know I was home safe and went to bed. When I woke up the next morning I had tons of messages and a few missed calls from Amy. My husband had also some messages and calls from Amy's fiancé. In her text she was asking me what I had told her fiancé. What had my husband told to the fiancé? How dare we meddle in their relationship? Etc. The texts on my husband's phone were just asking if I had arrived home and if had any idea where Amy was. I called Amy and she, again, asked what had I told her fiancé. I told her I haven't spoke with him. And she called me an asshole and a liar because if didn't spoke to him how did he know I had left? At 2 a.m.? I explained to her that I had texted my husband as I always do. She said I'm an asshole for not telling her that I was doing that and that my husband is a controlling asshole for making me text him and for telling her fiancé that she was also leaving. Then she hung up and haven't picked up again. My husband said he only told his friends that he was leaving because he wanted to arrive at home at the same time as me. And that if my friend did something, I don't know what, that's on her not me. The thing is this has reached my other friends and some are saying that I should text my husband when I arrive home, not when I leave the club, and that I am an asshole for not telling Amy what I was texting my husband. Some agree with my husband and say this is on Amy for lying. She said we both stay dancing even later. And not on my for texting my husband. Honestly I don't know what to think. As I feel like maybe I should just text my husband arriving home instead to avoid compromising others or to avoid creating an imaginary curfew for my friends. So Reddit. Am I the asshole? Verdict. Removed before verdict rendered. And NBSP. Posted to pretend nobody 9045 in 2 hot takes. Update the 1st of June 30, 2023. Hello Reddit. I'm OOP of this story and it's been quite a week. After seeing all the answers I decided to make the first and only update about this. I haven't heard Amy's version of what happened during that hour and a half she was missing. But her fiancé told my husband that everything it's fine and that the reason she was late was because she decided to walk home while smoking and didn't wanted him to know and be disappointed. She's smoking again. As of the wedding, So far that's still happening, but I'm no longer part of the bridal party as Amy considers I'm no longer part of her trust circle. I'm still invited to the wedding, but as my husband's flu zone because he's still part of the groomsmen. I'm glad I'm not a bridesmaid anymore, and I'm not sure if I'll be comfortable going to the wedding. Because Amy and most her bridesmaid act as if I was trash talking her to her fiancé when I haven't even spoke to him. PD. I wanted to thank all of those who supported me. I was really worried I had done something bad. But seeing so many people said that they do the same with their significant other or family, I feel much better. Relevant comments. Not a not 04. I'm sorry to break it to you op. But the reality is, she's still pissed cause she had something major to hide. And smoking isn't it. You know it. All of Reddit knows it. And I'm sure deep down her future husband knows it. But he's too deep in denial. Just as long as your husband doesn't start defending her, I just sit back and wait for the inevitable implosion of their marriage. Op. I personally think it's not my place to assume what Amy did or didn't do in her spare time. I keep my side of the street clean and it's up to her to keep hers. And as for my husband, he's not particularly close to Amy. He just wants to be able to support her friend when he needs it. And NBSP. Update # the 2nd of October 19, 2023. Well Reddit. Here the long-awaited update. In short, the wedding was called off. All this I've heard from my husband, from a few friends I still had in common with Amy, and from Amy's sister, who is very angry at Amy. Turns out that, as many had assumed Amy wasn't being faithful, this past weekend she went dancing with some friends and didn't came home until 5 a.m. Of course she told her ex-fiance that she had been with her friends all the time and that's why she didn't answer her phone, only for him to tell her that because she wasn't home and wasn't picking up the phone. Around 2:30 a.m. he called one of her friends to ask to speak to Amy. And lo and behold, the friend had no idea where Amy was. Because they had went dancing all right, but Amy canceled them and didn't went. So she insisted she was dancing but with her sister and her sister's friends. And she went to bed. He called Amy's sister to ask her at what time had Amy left the club to come home, because he remembered the time Amy went dancing with me, and the sister said she hadn't seen Amy either. So he finally confronted Amy, and after more excuses she admitted she was with a work friend. At first she said it was just a friend that she didn't mention because it's a guy and her fiancé would be jealous. But after more fighting and cycle talk she told him it was just a bit of pre-wedding fun, nothing serious, and that it wasn't cheating because they didn't had sex and it was only flirting and hanging out alone at his apartment. So he called off the wedding because he doesn't approve this kind pre-wedding fun. He is staying with some friends, and she is calling everyone she can think of to ask us to talk to him to get the wedding back on. Relevant comments. Topic number 8755. So the real question is, did you dump Amy as a friend because she sucks big time? Op. We stopped being friends when I was fired from being a bridesmaid and she kicked me out of her circle of trust for talking to my own husband. And NBSP. Reminder, this is a repost sub IAM not oop. Also, what is wrong with texting your husband that you're leaving a place? I do that so that he knows to expect me at a certain time and so he can be the responsible person. If anything happened to me, I went missing. That's not controlling. It's just common sense. A tale of two relationships. If you expect someone to be an alibi for your cheating, it's up to you to make sure they know that and agree to it. Amy's a dumbass. I don't get why some people treat the run-up to their wedding as their last chance to go wild and act single. The last chance was before you agreed to be in a committed relationship. Yes, even before you were engaged. If you're already cheating, you won't magically stop because you got a ring on. You'll just find new ways to justify it. Having some pre-golden anniversary fun. No surprise really that there was cheating involved. Seriously. I don't understand why people cheat when they are going to marry at the same time. Cheaters are seriously confusing and head-aching. My first thought when reading this was, wait, doesn't everyone text their SO to let them know they're heading home or going to be late? It's not controlling, its communication and just caring about each other. Gotta love a happy ending for Op in avoiding this BS and Amy's ex-fiancé for calling off the wedding. To amorous adulterous Amy. Ah yes, a cheater preaching about what an unhealthy relationship is. How is wanting to know if your spouse is safe seen as controlling? It seems like common courtesy. So I guess we've all realized that when Amy left Op, she went smoking, something that wasn't her husband's. Apparently, Amy modified cheating with only applies when you're married. Except that memo didn't reach all involved. Just her and AP. Further modifications would have been likely. Lol, now her circle of trust is a Fruit Loop. Oop. I personally think it's not my place to assume what Amy did or didn't do in her spare time. Quote, me. Raises brow. Oop in update 2. She cheated LMAO. A really good comparison of what a healthy relationship looks like. And what a garbage relationship looks like. If someone told me I wasn't allowed to tell my husband when I was leaving a bar, club in the middle of the night after I've been drinking because it's controlling, I would go off on them. I will talk to my husband whenever I want, and I will always notify him if I'm in a situation that could potentially go bad. Just in case. How anyone heard her accusations and didn't immediately go, "What is wrong with you? What are you hiding?" is disgraceful on the part of Amy's friends. Everyone knew what was going on. No woman is going to willingly walk home from the club at 2 a.m. Oops, saw her get an Uber. Amy had been cheating on him for a while. Pre-wedding fun. Is that what the younger generation calls adultery now? Oop actually saved her husband's friend a lot of heartache and trauma. It's better to find out before the wedding. I don't understand how anyone can support Amy even initially. Hope Oop cut her friendship with those who supported Amy. Maybe they were also in on the secret life of Amy. The freakout alone pointed directly to the outcome. Nobody spam texts a bunch of outrage and panic in the middle of the night because they had a sneaky cigarette. Imagine thinking it's controlling to let your spouse know you're alive and on your way home. It's not our fault you can't keep your legs closed, Amy. Nobody is hanging out at 5 a.m. to talk about the planet. Well, that was predictable. Cheaters always get angry when they get caught. But it's obviously never their fault.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.